It was supposed to happen so many times over the past decade, and now it finally has. India has lifted an ICC World Cup trophy again after 13 years. But before we get into the match, Ayaz, as someone who's seen all of India's World Cup triumphs, how are you feeling right now?
Oh, absolutely. I'm delighted. It's been a long night. Much after the match ended, I was kind of rerunning the entire drama in my mind till the wee hours of the morning. And it was such a special match, wasn't it, Anirudh? It turned out to be a humdinger. When you look back, South Africa only 2 strokes away from winning the match. And the spectacular catch by Surya Kumar Yadav, the great bowling by Bumrah, Arshdeep, Hardik Pandya, not to forget, of course, we'll talk about the batting, and especially the much maligned Virat Kohli, who came good and became man of the match.
So yeah, a lot of heroes for India, and there seem to be 1 or 2 heroes stepping up every match. So it's a long list. We'll start off with the captain, of course. Rohit Sharma leading from the front, India's best batter throughout the tournament, and he bids goodbye to the format, and perfect way to say goodbye, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you won the trophy, and there was so much talk about Rohit as well as Virat, whether they fit into the scheme of things in T20. Yes. What with such terrific youngsters on the fringes. So I think it's a absolutely wonderful call taken by both Kohli and Rohit. And Rohit, as we know, I mean, he ran this campaign so brilliantly with the bat. He was bionic with the bat, and he was just so marvelous as a captain. Even in this match, in the final, in the closing stages, when South Africa seemed poised for a win. What they needed in the last 4 overs, I think less than 6 runs, or just about 6 runs and over. And then to kind of, throttle them through Bumrah, of course, the brilliant Bumrah. Yeah. But the way he set the fields, the kind of whatever he must have told his bowlers, I think he ran a brilliant campaign right through the series. And it's something that he was craving for, wasn't it? I mean, the World Test Championship, he lost in the final to Australia. The ODI World Cup, he lost in the final to Australia. And here, you're in the final. So I think he finished this match must be as a very, very satisfied man.
Yep. And also you spoke about Kohli, so we'll get to him now. So he had this wonderful IPL season, and then he came here and it looked like that was a completely different man. He was maybe trying too much, playing too aggressively, but in the final he stuck to what he knows, and lo and behold, man of the match. So, and he also said it was an open, after the match, talking to Harsha Bhogle, he said it was an open secret that this is going to be his last World Cup. So, and he said a lot of youngsters are waiting in the wings, they're ready. So, what about Kohli then?
Yeah, I mean, look, Kohli, I always wondered why there was so much skepticism about Kohli, whether he should be in the team, whether he should be as the opener. And, he had a fairly poor run at this, till the final. Not the Kohli or not vintage Kohli as you would expect in the runs, with the runs and stuff like that. But, he is a master batsman with good reason across formats. And we saw it in the ODI World Cup. We've seen it here when it mattered in the final. On the big occasion, the biggest players come good, and that is what he did. I mean, he was the player of the match. I think he took, as you said, it was an open secret maybe for him. A lot of people would have been waiting to see what he does after this tournament got over. But again, like Rohit, he's taken an absolutely right call. He doesn't have to prove, neither of them in T20 cricket. And there is now need for Indian cricket in the T20 to have young legs and young lungs. And they made space for these guys to come in.
Yeah, so of course we spoke about Kohli, but we will also have to talk about the other hero of the final, Hardik Pandya, who to me has been one of the most vilified men in Indian cricket for the past few months, and he had some issues going on in his family. There were speculations, we don't know, but he broke down after the match and he said that, yeah, this has been a quite hard 6 months. So brilliant performance by Pandya, clutch man.
Oh, absolutely. Look, I think Pandya was a very vital cog in India's plans and had been even for the ODI World Cup. He broke down, he got injured, and he couldn't complete the tournament in the ODI World Cup. But here he was, and you're right, he came into this tournament with kind of almost dangling on a slender thread, because he'd not had a great IPL. And, as you mentioned, he was much vilified. So he came here, he'd been going through personal problems. But I think, his caliber as an all-rounder and a fast bowling all-rounder is a priceless commodity, as we know, in white ball cricket. So he's come good in there were times when he batted well, there were times when he bowled well. When you look at the entire range of performances that he's put into this tournament, then he comes across as somebody who was in many ways the pivot. India were blessed to have so many all-rounders. Apart from him, there was Jadeja and then Akshar Patel, who's made such tremendous progress in this series. And then, of course, we'll talk about Bumrah. But Hardik was the go-to man for Rohit when it came to getting the breakthrough. Apart from Bumrah, you see the challenge for Rohit was how to handle these pace bowlers to make sure that when they come in for the second spell or the final burst, they're coming there and picking up wickets. And I think Hardik Pandya, 3 wickets in the final. Rohit couldn't have asked for more.
Yeah. We'll talk about one more hero left, the major one, I guess. But we'll also have to talk about Rahul Dravid. He signs off with his coaching job now done. But what a moment for the guy. He hasn't won a World Cup in his playing career and he seemed like he desperately wanted to do it for this. He's, of course, won it with the under-19 team and seems like he had a really good thing going on with this team. And what a way to sign off.
What a way to sign off. And you're right. He missed out on the World Cup as a player. Remember, India were in the final in 2003, the ODI World Cup. And then when he was captain, we had a disastrous World Cup in 2007. So, obviously, This is like, in many ways, redemption for him. And then, the World Test Championship final, India lost to Australia. The ODI World Cup final, India lost to Australia. And, he had taken a call that this is his last assignment. He's going back to spend time with his family. So, this is, and, Anirudh, I think that to look at Dravid's performance, one must also look at how the alignment that took place between the chief coach, the captain, and the chief selector, I think, which was, so crucial for India in the last 12 months, certainly, ever since Ajit Agarkar joined, and this trio of Dravid, Agarkar, and Rohit Sharma, they were all on the same page. That's where the plans and the players started falling into place. Who will do what? Getting into finding specific roles for these players and putting out, strategizing and then making sure that those plans are executed to almost a T. Almost happened in the ODI World Cup. We lost by, India was the best team, so to speak, in the tournament, but of course you can't deny Australia credit for winning. But here, in this tournament, to beat Pakistan, to beat Australia, to beat England, then beat South Africa, it's been a fantastic campaign. Of course, Afghanistan also. So it's been a fantastic campaign, and I think this is something that Dravid himself will savor forever.
And finally, we do have to talk about the man of the tournament, the cheat code in human form, Jasprit Bumrah, and what a run he's been having. And I think he finishes off this campaign with an economy of under 5, which is insane. And we always see Bumrah on field as a very calculated man, very thinking man, and who sticks to his job. But we also saw the emotional side. He was running and hugging his wife Sanjana yesterday. So you were telling me off camera he was the difference between all the other teams in India. So what do you say about Bumrah?
Absolutely. You take out Bumrah from the calculation or the combination, and I don't think India would have reached this far. We saw it in the ODI World Cup also. He was in terrific form. We saw it in the Test series against England. He made the vital difference. He may not have had the most wickets, but he was the vital difference. Every time India thought India were in trouble or under pressure, it was Bumrah that Rohit turned to, and Bumrah delivered at every time. I think that's really the hallmark of Bumrah. The control he's got, the variety, the grey matter in his head, which helps him suss out batsmen and what ball to bowl to which batsman at what time is a remarkable quality. It shows his fantastic understanding of the game, of match situations, and of opponents. And to absorb this responsibility, you got great skills. And then when everybody wants you to deliver, that pressure is on you. His capacity to absorb pressure is fantastic. It boggles my mind that he's been doing it across formats in match after match after match. And remember, he came back after a long layoff because of injury. When you when you're injured so badly and you've got surgery, then you've got rehab, self-doubt can creep in. But in Bumrah's case, what has happened is he's just come back a far, far better and a greater bowler.
So that's it. India finally have the World Cup, and now congratulations to Team India, congratulations to all the fans. And now that the World Cup is over, we'll come back to you with regular coverage. So yeah, that's it for this episode of Sports Room. We'll see you next time.